You know we love our food on the 4 to 5, and there is a symposium this weekend that takes an unusual look at cuisine and culture. It's really fascinating here. I spoke with Professor Derek Hicks. He's an associate professor at Wake Forest University about this event, which examines how food can be such an integral part of a culture. Derek, this sounds fascinating. I know over the years, and the older I get, the more I realize that food kind of defines a culture. It's very intimate. Talk about how that plays a role in this particular symposium.
Certainly, Of Hearth and Table is what it's called, and I'm intentionally conveying the importance of the creative space of the hearth and the gathering space of the table. This will bring together scholars, chefs, activists, restaurateurs, and at least 3 James Beard Award-winning and nominated individuals. So we're really excited about bringing this to our community.
Also, it looks like you've got a lot of different panels, different topics. Can you talk about that?
Certainly. So there'll be 4 panels. The first panel will consider African American cultural history or culinary cultural history. The second panel will look at Black farmers and the work that they do. The third panel will consider activists who work in urban communities trying to get those farmed goods to people in need. And the last panel will bring together wonderful chefs and restaurateurs.
So there's a pretty special guest here that ties in with not only her book, but a Netflix special. Tell us who will be there.
Absolutely. So Jessica B. Harris has been writing about African American food culture for many, many years. When I locked her in as my keynote speaker, I knew that most of these other folks would say yes, because she has either directly or indirectly through her scholarship been a mentor to all of them. So her book, High on the Hog, is a magnum opus text, and the Netflix documentary series is named after her book. So she will be our keynote speaker, and she will be in a keynote conversation with another member from that Netflix documentary, whose name is Gabrielle Etienne, who is an up-and-coming rising star in Black culinary circles.
Hey, Derek, I appreciate your time today, man. This is great stuff. Can't wait to see it. So this
Very
is fascinating
cool.
to me.
Yeah, I
think
like that.
It's funny that whenever he mentioned this, and I never thought of this, he said a lot of the dishes that every culture in the United States eat has some African influence into it that we didn't know until you start reading about this. But food is an intimate thing, I think.
It is.
With all cultures.
It's intimate. It's a sense of connection, a sense of community, a sense of family that goes beyond those bloodlines. When I was in college, because I double majored in African American Studies and English, I took a course called Food in the African Diaspora. And we learned about how Black culture in America and different cultures of food are rooted in Blackness and rooted in Black cultures and in Africa. It was really cool.
It's interesting to me because there are certain people say comfort foods, but sometimes that's different from culture to culture. But so he had mentioned to me, he said, people talk about barbecue and that's a big thing in the South. But a lot of that has roots in the African influence to the Southern culture. White or Black, is just the fact that has infiltrated it throughout the South. And it is like that. There's regionalism to food that's based on cultures and where people are from.
What I like about this seminar that's going on is there's different layers to it. You have the activists, you have the chefs, you have the book writers, you have the farmers. It's all intricate in how food can tie all of that together and really give a culture an identity. I think that's really neat. That really dives deeper with how food is, it's just so much more than the nutrients we put in our body. It really is like a defining of a people.
It's psychological, I think, to a degree. And he had mentioned too, there's also, I think he said a couple of people that will be speaking that are James Beard nominated.
Yeah, I heard
and
that.
One that's a winner. Plus their keynote speaker, that Netflix special is based on her book, High on the Hog. So there's lots of elements to this.
So lots of speakers, but I gotta ask, is there gonna be food sampling at this event?
So I couldn't get a straight answer about that, but there might be.
Because I'm gonna show up hungry.
Right?
With an empty stomach.
It is free.
Okay.
It's totally free. So check it out and we'll have the information for you on WFMYnews2.com.